Yeah, so you're probably going to hear a noise in the background. That's my fan running. Uh, my AC is fine. It's running, but we had a little bit of battery issue with the actual thermostat itself, so we had to change it. Let me tip this up a little bit. Sorry. There we go. Much better. I like that. Probably didn't do anything. Felt like I did something. So, yeah, if you hear a buzzing sound, it's my fan. It's kind of hot in here right now because it hasn't cooled down because of earlier. But it's not like last time when my air conditioning went completely out. That was horrible. And I just ate, so I'll probably burp a little bit. Excuse that. So, if you hear a buzzing sound, that's my fan. I don't want to start sweating on camera. So, it's either the buzzing sound or Golden Blue Dude starts to drip with sweat. I'd rather not do that. So, I'm pretty excited about this evening. I was going to start at 9 o'clock, my usual time, but I'm actually going over to Pigskin Pete's channel later on this, about 10 o'clock. He wanted me to help him co-host, so I decided to start this early, and then we'll stop at 10, and I'll jump over to Pigskin Pete's show. That's how I decided to do it. And by the way, I've decided... This camera's getting on my nerves, my phone. Anyways, I've decided that today, I might sit and stand. So, it just depends on if how can I put this delicately? If my butt starts sweating in my seat, it'll depend on that. So if I don't start overly sweating in the butt region, then, you know, you won't have to worry about me standing up. So, I'm not mad when I stand up. It's just I'm trying to stay cool because my AC is catching up. We're good. It works. It's just the batteries in the thermostat went dead while we were gone, so the house warmed up quite a bit. So, there we go. And I did hydrate earlier as far as water and Gatorade, but during the show, it's... Hold on. Pepsi. So if I ever pick up a big-time sponsor, guess who it's going to be? It's going to be freaking Pepsi as far as a beverage goes, because you can ask my wife. I am addicted to this stuff. Like, openly, I'm addicted to Pepsi. I don't care who knows. That's my thing. Alright, so, man, people are popping in early. I appreciate that. And yes, I saw the news about Scott Frost. Didn't really look into it much, so I might look at it after the show. It's been a busy day. This whole week has been crazy, okay? So they went back to at-home learning with my kids' school. So they've been at home doing the whole, internet learning deal. So, and that's usually when I do my videos. So I've been having to help them with their schoolwork and try to get out my videos every day. And then yesterday, my gosh, a tropical storm came through, and we were under 3 tornado warnings. Friggin' 3. Now, we weren't hit or anything, but there was one that came, I think it was within 2 miles of my house. So it was pretty close. So yesterday was crazy, and it's just been a crazy week. Hoping it starts to settle down now as far as the craziness goes. We'll see. And then, of course, today, the batteries in the thermostat die. I don't even know. I've never had to change batteries in the thermostat for the air conditioning. Apparently, it's a real thing because we had to do it, but I've never had to do it before. So, I guess we'll have to keep check on the batteries in the thermostat. Anyways, 2 weeks from tomorrow, guys. 2 weeks from tomorrow. College football, week 0. Coming up on us. And, hold on one second. Let me check something real quick. I wanted to see what the lines were. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, I wasn't as prepared as I should have been, but it's all good. I wanted to check the lines, especially the one with the dadgummit. Stupid phone. There we go. Huh. Imagine that. The internet actually works. Alright, so I wanted to look at the line for the Ohio State at... I tried that, Uncle Lou. Like, every time I go live, I try the whole sideways thing, and it makes me flip it back. And if I don't, I'm like, I'm sideways on the screen. I don't know. But I do know that Joey, my sponsor, is coming by, not this weekend, but the next weekend, and we're going to get some technical stuff figured out, because that's my weakness. That is not my strength at all. Like, at all. So, Joey's going to come by next weekend. We're going to get more stuff from the website, which he updated. It looks great. Way better. Homepage is awesome. All right, so let me check the line for the Ohio State Minnesota. That's the one that I'm most interested on. And if y'all would hit that like button real quick, and I promise, it's not to pat me on the back or stroke Golden Blue Dude's ego. I promise it's not that. What it does is it hits that algorithm for YouTube. That way this gets suggested more, and we can get more people in here. I promise you. Hit the thumbs down too. I mean, whatever. You know, if you don't like it, hit the thumbs down. Either way helps to hit that algorithm. And yes, Uncle Lou, I've tried to turn it sideways before. I don't know why. Because even whenever I turn it sideways, before I start whatever, it always tells me to flip it back, rotate. And then one time I tried, and I was doing a show sideways for about 2 minutes, and it never flipped, so I had to cancel that show. Okay, so the matchup predictor is showing... Well, here you go. I don't know if it's showing up backwards, but there you go. Ohio State big time. 87.7% chance to win this game. Let me see the line real quick. I should know this off the top of my head, but I don't. I've been busy with other things. And of course, it has to be super slow when I'm trying to get information. In order to get the number to the call-in show, you have to email me at refsuck@gmail.com, your name and your number, so I know that it's you. Because everybody has troll issues, and this is my way of trying to keep them out. I'm sure they'll still figure out a way in. Or you can go to my website, www.goldenbluedude.com. Either way. But basically, the point of that is, you send me your information. Hey, this is me. This is the number that I'm calling from. Once you send me that, then I send you the call-in number. That way, because trolls are very... You can ask anybody that's had a YouTube channel, or has a YouTube channel. Pigskin Pete, Uncle Lou, anybody, Mark Rogers. Trolls are out there, and they're out to get us. They really are. And they're pretty good at what they do. And they'll come up with some crazy names to pop up on your phone. All right, so, wow. So the line is Ohio State is favored by 13.5 points. That's a smart line by Vegas right there. And, you know, most of the time they have a smart line. But sometimes you're like, man, that's too easy. And I've called them out on that. And, of course, I always win on the ones that are too easy. But on that one's pretty good. That's still a confident pick. They're picking Ohio State, but they're not giving them 2 full touchdowns. I could see Ohio State winning by 2 full touchdowns, but I also could see Minnesota keeping it close. If I had to pick, like right now, I would actually take the points. I would take Minnesota and the points. I would still say Ohio State wins that game, but 13.5. My gut's telling me right now that's just a little bit too many points. Because here's the thing, guys. Ohio State does have a pretty good wide receiving core. Like, really good. I get that. But their running backfield, took a big hit. Big hit. Master Tig is back, and he was their starter in 2019. He did okay. But they had a great running back last year. He's gone. And then the quarterback situation. My gosh, for the first time in 40-some years, Ohio State is starting a quarterback who has never, ever thrown a forward pass in college football. So, I don't know. That's just... And Ohio State's defense should be okay. Should be okay. But is it enough to keep it within 2 touchdowns? I'm not convinced on that. I think Minnesota has an outside shot of winning this game as well because a lot of people have forgotten about Tanner Morgan, the quarterback for Minnesota. He was pretty good before last year. Last year, he did have a slight downtick year, but at the same time, it wasn't to the point where you're like, man, this guy flat out sucks. No, he was still a good quarterback. He just wasn't as good in previous years. So, yeah. And Matthew Lane, Ohio State is loaded. Yeah, I know they are. Especially at wide receiver. It's just their running back position is a major question. Master Teague is okay, I guess. He's not great, but he's not terrible. But definitely a backward step from last year. And the quarterback position, that has to matter. That has to matter as far as going on the road, your first game against an experienced quarterback in Tanner Morgan. That has to count for something. There's going to be some big-time nerves in those in whoever starts. I think it's C.J. Stroud that's supposed to start, but still not 100% sure on that. Go Bucks, thank you for the $10 super chat. He says, or she says, I can't really tell by the channel logo. Anyways, Ohio State is going to destroy these turds. The quarterback situation is what 5-star. The quarterback situation is what 5-star will run the score up on you. The quarterback situation is what the 5-star will run the score up on you. The 5-star is what the 5... I'm missing something. I know what you're trying to say, that they're 5 stars and they're 5 stars for a reason. I just the wording on that kind of confused me. I understand what you're saying though. I don't know. It's on the... If this was at home, cupcake game, whatever. But this is not a cupcake game. Minnesota, and I did this as far as potential chaos teams that could cause some chaos in any division, any particular conference. And Minnesota is one of those teams in the Big Ten that could cause some chaos. They have some experience coming back, and Tanner Morgan is going to be at least a top 5, if not a top 3 quarterback in the Big Ten. And that's going to matter. It's on the road. It's the first game. Inexperienced quarterback at Ohio State. I'm not willing to call the upset yet. That's not what I'm doing. But I think Minnesota can keep it close. I think they can. But then again, Ohio State's Ohio State, and they do what they do. I just have this gut feeling on this particular game, as far as all the ingredients. Thank you for clearing that up. He's a guy. Good deal. As far as a potential upset, possible, yes. I don't think the upset's going to happen, but I think they can. I think they can cover. Chase, you can call back in. I was rambling and I missed your phone call. Yeah, Golden Blue Dude rambles sometimes and he misses phone calls. It is what it is. But yeah, I think Ohio State... I do think Ohio State will win the game, but I think Minnesota can keep it close. Chase, what's going on, bud? He got me back. Chase got me back. I missed his phone call and he hung up on me. Well played, sir. Well played. Here we go.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I counted it as you getting me back for missing your phone call, so we're even. Go ahead.
Well. Have you heard about Georgia?
What about Georgia?
So, a lot of people have been getting injured, and then also, it's news for Mississippi State fans as well, but a 5-star wide receiver decommitted from Oklahoma and is looking at Mississippi State and Georgia.
Okay. I thought you meant some injury that I didn't hear about recently.
Yeah, there's a lot of injuries too.
But George Pickens, we all know about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard about that. You kind of threw me off when you called it Georgia news. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Also,
Hold on. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is everyone's hate level of Texas? Mine is freaking 100. And once they get to the SEC, yours is going to be through the roof. And it's not necessarily Texas fans. It's the way the Big 12 has kissed up to them and the way they have just made it look like they own the Big 12, which they don't. Do they make the most money? Yes, because they have the Texas brand, the Longhorn Network, all that stuff. But they don't. They never really owned the Big 12 like they're trying to portray on everybody. Now they're heading over to the SEC. They're going to try to make everybody think that they own the SEC. That's not happening. And just prepare for, on a regular basis, 100,000 horns down in your face. I'm just telling you. Go ahead, Chase.
I also heard about the old Kentucky quarterback that got, replaced.
Joey Gatewood, he entered the transfer portal. Because he got replaced by the Penn State transfer. That's the last news I heard.
And then he committed to Georgia.
Okay, I didn't hear about that.
So
he
I'm
committed
thinking
to Georgia, really?
Huh.
James Thompson, yes. West Virginia is coming to the ACC. That's what I'm still hearing. Announcement, I have no idea when it's going to happen, but West Virginia is going to the ACC.
Probably next year.
It could be, because there's some moving pieces that's still going on right now from what I'm hearing. So it could be soon, it could be in the middle of the season, or at the end of the season. I don't know, but West Virginia is going to the ACC.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't know about a lot of Georgia. I was just on TV's live show yesterday.
Man, I missed that. Like I said, yesterday was a crazy day. I had a tropical storm come through and had several tornado warnings, so I had my mind on other things. Plus, service was terrible, so I'm sad that I missed this live show. It is what it is.
My first football game is tomorrow.
Your first football game. What does that entail? Like, first one you've ever played? First one you've ever been to? Certain level?
Start.
Okay.
Yeah, usually on the bench, warming it up for my body.
What level do you play? Like middle school, high school, elementary? Middle school. Okay. What team do you play for? Briarcrest. Okay, well, I'll be pulling for you, man. What position?
Line, defensive end, and left. I want to say guard on the O-line.
Okay, so you're you like to be on the line. Hey,
yeah.
In the trenches is where the games are won. So don't let anybody tell you that you're not important, because you're the most important part of the game.
Mhm.
Well, hey, bud, I appreciate you calling, man. That was some good stuff, and I didn't know that Joey Gatewood to Georgia. So appreciate you letting me know on that. Good job.
All right, thanks for having me on.
No problem. Have a good night, bud. That was actually a good call. And now I'm ticked off because I forgot to turn my volume off on this phone. Good job, Golden Blue Dude, you moron. There you go. So, if you've been waiting for the past 2 years for me to call myself a moron, it just happened. I forgot to turn the volume on my phone completely off. Yeah, that was a moronic move. Yeah, let me get that straightened out real quick. Trash talk is encouraged on this channel. Of course. Don't get personal, okay? That's dumb, it's low, it's below the belt, and it's not necessary, okay? I understand this is a very emotional sport, Probably the most emotional sport there is. Foreign soccer is up there too. But getting personal, it's just not necessary. But trash talk, I'm 100% okay with that. Just try to not get personal. That gets a little bit ridiculous. And by the way, YouTube doesn't like it very much, and I don't want this channel to get a strike or this live show to get taken down. And I told y'all earlier, quick reminder, please hit the like button. It's not to, pat my ego or anything like that. Or you can hit the thumbs down. Either way, we're just trying to hit that algorithm to where it gets suggested more and get more people in here. That's it. Free, easy, hit the thumbs up, helps the show grow the audience. And tonight, I actually do need to keep track of time because at 10 o'clock, well, sometime before 10 o'clock, I am going to head over to the Pigskin Pete show. So even when this show is over, y'all can head over to Pigskin Pete. Which, by the way, if you're not already subscribed to that dude, I don't know why. He has some good stuff too. And Uncle Lou has been in the comment section. I don't know if he's still there. If you're not a subscriber of his, go check out his channel. He is an acquired taste, but he has some good stuff. I promise you that. I love his videos. Uncle Lou's Uncle Lou, and nobody else can do Uncle Lou like Uncle Lou. And people that accuse me of trying to copy Uncle Lou makes me laugh. That's an insult to Uncle Lou, guys. You are insulting Uncle Lou when you say that I'm trying to copy him. Number one, I'm not, because he's him, and nobody can do Uncle Lou like Uncle Lou. Sunglasses have a purpose. I'm going to show you one more time. Look at this. Yeah, into the studio lighting. Okay? Bright studio lighting. And stats. I can look down but still face you. So there is a purpose. Okay, so the big thing that I've been doing my videos on is, of course, conference realignment. And the biggest thing that really gets people going is what I've been saying for the past month or so. I made one mistake when I made that first video. One mistake, okay? So here we go. West Virginia is going to the ACC. I have three separate sources, three inside sources that I talk to on a daily basis, okay? On a daily basis. And they all say the same thing, and they're not talking to each other. I talk to them independently. The moment they change and say, well, hold on, it's not happening or it's not looking good, I promise I will do a video. But trying to make me mad or, get me twisted around, I'm not going to reveal my sources. It's just not going to happen. I don't want to burn that bridge. These are very good, reliable sources. But the one mistake, let me get back to that. The one mistake that I made the first time I made that announcement, it was, I said that West Virginia was going to make an announcement within 2 weeks. Obviously, that didn't happen. And obviously, I didn't see the whole Bob Bowlesby letter to the SEC and all that other stuff and all the other moving parts that were going on. I didn't realize all that stuff. So that was my mistake, was saying, oh yeah, West Virginia will announce within 2 weeks. That didn't happen, and it might not happen for a while. So, yeah, that was a dumb mistake, a rookie mistake, and I admit it. I own up to it. If my sources tell me it's off, man, it's not happening, or even if they say it's not looking good, it's not looking good. So, if they do that, I will definitely make a video. And multiple mishaps of me saying Kansas to the Big Ten. That was actually in articles. I was actually just doing videos on articles that I was seeing. That wasn't really source related. Whenever I talked to my sources, they said, yeah, that could happen. But as far as saying it's going to happen, that was more of what I was seeing on the internet. So sometimes when you see big time news on the internet, it's like, whoa, that could be a hot video topic. That's exactly what it was. So I wouldn't pin that one on my sources at all. Not at all. That one's on me from looking at the internet. That's all. The West Virginia thing, that's the one that I'm really trusting my sources on for that one. And if they waver at all, any type of negativity, they don't have to even come out and say it's not happening. If I hear a tone or it's not looking good or things have changed, I promise you, I will do a video. Sports Nerd, of course you can call in. Please call in. You're a good caller. You're one of my very best callers. Right up there with Tiger Baskins. Chase, you're a good caller too, man. And you playing football, that's going to help you with the knowledge of the inside the game, not just as a spectator like me, because I didn't play football. I played basketball, but I've been a huge football fan since I was about 6. I can remember my my first ever NFL game that I ever watched. New England Patriots against the Houston Oilers. And that was when I was 5, okay? First baseball game that I ever saw, it was the Atlanta Braves against the Cincinnati Reds. Now, that was, I think, when I was 6. First college football game, West Virginia against Maryland. And, you know, I don't know if I realized by then, I don't know if I'd been taught my states or whatever, but I knew that was the team that I was supposed to like. There was a connection. I saw it and I knew it. And that was before I knew my states and all that stuff. So I definitely have that that connection that you're supposed to have with your favorite team. Not just, oh, I like their helmets, I think I'll be their fan. Yeah, I really have a friend that said that. And if he's watching, buddy, I'm not going to say your name, but you know who you are and you're a Florida State fan. So, yeah. Am I talking to the great sports nerd?
This is Talk is Pitt.
Dadgummit, man. He said he was going to call in. No, I'm not disappointed. I just thought it was him, and I set myself up for failure again. What's up, man?
You're disappointed. Don't lie to yourself. How you doing?
No, I really am. I'm not. I'm good, man. I survived a crazy 3 days. Over the weekend, well, Friday, I found out my kids were coming home for home learning, the internet stuff. And yesterday, that stupid tropical storm came through. 3 separate individual tornado warnings.
Yeah, we got hit pretty hard up here in Pittsburgh. We lost power for about 4 hours.
I'm surprised.
There's the river flooded, I want to say about 15 to 20 feet above what it normally does. So the whole entire freeway in downtown Pittsburgh was just covered in water. Oh, it rained. It rained pretty bad.
Will you do me a favor? Maybe if they don't believe you, or believe me, they'll believe you. Tell them they need to hit the like and subscribe button, or, well, like and subscribe, but like this video and why.
Yes, you guys need to make sure you subscribe, comment, like, dislike, do whatever you want.
You can dislike.
Yeah, you could dislike. You could even subscribe to my channel.
Yeah.
I'll actually be posting a video soon. Gonna be a quick one. I might not even actually post it because I really see no point of previewing it versus UMass.
Yeah, that would be a waste of your talent, sir.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's no point. So what I'm trying to come up with is an idea of why I know Notre Dame is going to the ACC. And this is coming from sources. This is not coming from anybody. Nobody told me this.
Hey, have we communicated about this before this?
Mm-hmm.
And it was when? Today.
2 years ago.
No, I'm talking about whenever you told me about Notre Dame going to join the ACC and the conversation we had. That was today, right?
Yeah, that was today when I mentioned that.
And that was after I made the video, right?
It was.
So we have not been talking about that before the video that I made today, right?
No, me and you have never talked about. Now, I mean, conversation has came up about who we would see bringing more to the table, but that's as far as it went.
Right.
Now, at that time, I didn't remember that 2 years ago we signed a contract for a 10-year home series with Notre Dame.
Right.
If that doesn't signal Notre Dame's going to the ACC, I don't know what else does.
Well, here's another thing that people don't realize. Number one, if they do choose to sign with a conference, It has to be the ACC if they want to do it before 2036.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, because they played nothing but ACC teams anyway. So, I mean, like, what other conference is Notre Dame going to go to? They're dead smack in the middle of Indiana.
Yeah.
The only conference that would make sense is either the Big Ten or the ACC. Those are your only two options.
Right.
But, I mean, Big Ten doesn't need Notre Dame. They got Ohio State.
Yep.
They got Penn State. Actually, speaking of Ohio State, we just landed one of their transfers, actually.
I heard about that. Tell us about it.
Yeah, he's a 4-star offensive tackle who got buried on Ohio State's depth chart. And Ohio State's one of the, if not the most, I want to say, filled the rosters in the entire college football world. And he wasn't going to play. He was never going to play, and he even knew that. He even said, I knew I wasn't going to play.
Right.
They're just... He wanted more playing time, but what I don't understand is we're just as deep at offensive linemen, which we're probably going to end up losing a couple of people or a commit, which we already did. We lost a offensive tackle commit for 2022, which I'm not concerned about it. He was only a 2-star.
Well, this tells you something right here. I'm a West Virginia fan, and I'm predicting Pitt to go 9-3 with an outside chance of having a 10-win season. I'm telling you.
Uncle Lou seems to think it may happen. He predicts 8-4 at best because that's just Pitt.
Yeah.
But he doesn't think North Carolina is going to beat Pitt. He thinks they're going to go undefeated all the way up until that game.
I think the team that Pitt will probably beat at home, but because people don't realize they get Clemson, North Carolina, and Miami at home. I think it's Miami. I think Pitt's going to beat Miami. Number one, y'all have always played Miami pretty good. Number two, y'all are going to be better than usual. Number three, it's going to be at home.
True. It's not. I mean, it's not like we didn't play them well. I mean, we didn't play them well enough to beat them, but we did play them a lot closer than what the game or what the score was. Kane got sacked 3 times. We've picked them off twice. They really couldn't run the ball against us, but they could throw the ball because our secondaries just suck. I mean,
y'all have had some issues with the secondary for sure.
We definitely do, and I mean, it doesn't help that you have a 5'9" defensive back.
Oh, yikes! I didn't know that.
Yeah, but thank God we got some size in the DB room. We're talking about 6'3", 6'4" defensive backs.
That always helps.
Probably one of them's going to have to turn into a hybrid safety because I don't see.
Well, I was going to ask, do you think they have good instincts because of that specific thing you just said?
Yeah. Well, definitely, because I pay attention to West Virginia, and it's only because West Virginia does have a fan base in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Actually,
how big of a presence do they have in the city of Pittsburgh? Tell everybody.
Big enough to go somewhere in the city of Pittsburgh and find West Virginia gear.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, whenever people say that West Virginia doesn't bring anything to the table, the state of West Virginia population, blah, 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 not as big as, the population of the city of Cincinnati or the city of... It doesn't matter. It's not just the population of West Virginia. We have a broad fan base and a big alumni, and we will bring eyeballs, especially to those rivalry games in the ACC, and the ACC knows that.
Well, yeah, and I agree. And I'm saying, look, people, and what I see in your comment section is people always say, oh, what? There's actually Pitt fans. I mean, I know they're joking, and I know our fan base is not big at all, but I guarantee you that first game of the season, next season, you're going to find out how many we really have.
Yep.
They're going to come back out. That's when they did come out, is when we played 2 teams in the Big East. Well, actually 3 if you want to count Notre Dame. Cincinnati. Game was always packed.
That's another thing. They had their chance in the Big East, guys, and blew it. That's why the ACC is not going to take Cincinnati over West Virginia.
Put Cincinnati in a Power 5 conference, but not the ACC. Do they deserve? Actually, no. I take that back.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying that they don't deserve a shot at the Power Five. I'm saying they don't deserve a shot over West Virginia.
No. I never said that. I never
Right.
agreed with that.
Right.
I always thought West Virginia would always get the call over Cincinnati and Notre Dame over West Virginia if the ACC should only choose to bring in one team. Now, I'm hearing about all these rumors that they're going to bring in 8 teams, and I'm sitting here thinking, to do what?
Yeah, I heard that rumor, and I decided to do a video on it, and woo-wee, I got lit up
what
for
are they
it.
going to do? Overcrowd the conference and make it so difficult to crown a conference champion?
Yeah, I mean,
What are they going to do?
I get that, but at the same time, we could be headed down a path of an NFL type of league. I'm just going to say it, to where it's basically, the AFC and the NFC 30-30 or 35-35, East Coast, West Coast. The winners play in the college football version of the Super Bowl, which would be the national championship.
Well, that actually, one of the weird thing is that would probably be a lot better than the current system we got now.
Might be, yeah.
It really would, because we need to expand the playoffs beyond 4 teams. It just doesn't make sense, because no matter what, that ensures it's going to be the same 4 teams. And I've said that ever since they started the playoffs. It's going to ensure that Alabama always gets in, no matter how bad they do. They lost.
Yeah.
What year did they lose their conference championship and still got in?
That was the year after Ohio State did it, because Nick Saban complained, and then the year after they did it, and that's when he's like, no, this isn't about who wins the conference championship. This is about the 4 best teams. He changed his tune like the year after because it benefited Alabama the year after.
No wonder everybody hates Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, look, and I'm not even going to say this because it's a given. I hate West Virginia. You hate Pitt. That's common sense.
Saban did say that. He did say it 100%.
And there's certain fan bases that annoy me, and there's certain fan bases that I just cannot stand. Now, Georgia Tech fans, I can't stand them. Actually, no. They annoy me. Penn State fans, I can't stand them.
Google it, man. Just Google it.
Let's see. And I have a newfound hate for Florida State fans.
Oh. Why is that?
Because on Mark Rogers TV, some guy named Jason or whatever predicted Pitt to only win 4 games.
Yeah, that's way off. That's I would say if the bottom fell out, 6-6. That's if the bottom fell out.
That's if the bottom fell out. Here's the thing, though.
Right.
There has never been a time in Pitt football history where we've lost, or where we've only won less than 5 games. I think there was only one time in Pitt football history that we may have ever lost 8 games in a season. I don't think we've ever lost more than 7. And that was early, and I mean early, when none of this was even thought of. College football playoffs.
Right.
Everybody was equally talented. Football was still kind of a thing.
Imagine that. Equal.
I know, everybody was equal. Actually, speaking of that, I was Googling history between Pitt and Ohio State, because I just so happened to come across the video of the last time Pitt beat Ohio State, and because this Buckeye YouTube fan posted a video of the 10 worst losses in Ohio State history, and Pitt just so happened to be one of them. When
just
Pitt
one?
Beat Ohio
just
State.
One?
Just one.
Okay,
just
I'm
one
just
of
making
them.
sure.
Well, we beat Ohio State 5 times.
By the way, here's another tidbit that people don't realize as far as the legitimacy of West Virginia going to the ACC as far as deserving. Did you know that West Virginia is only one of 3 programs to have a top 20 all-time wins in college football and basketball? West Virginia, Texas, and Notre Dame. Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me, actually, because the one thing I've always known is West Virginia has always had good athletics. I have to admit the kids down there really need to start focusing more on academics.
Well, no, here's the thing about West Virginia as far as the academics go, because that argument comes up all the time. The thing with West Virginia is we don't send the lower tier of academics to a secular branch. That happens all over the country, and that's why some schools are able to keep their academics up. Now, schools like Vanderbilt, stuff like that, they have really high standards. But a lot of these other schools, they accept these kids, okay? But if they fall in this tier or lower and they know it's going to hurt their academic standard, they send them to a secular branch so it doesn't count towards their academics. That's West Virginia's mistake.
What? Like who? Like, what do you mean, like secular branch? You mean like a smaller division of that university?
Right. Yes.
Like how Pitt does, because Pitt has campuses up near Penn State, like Pitt Johnstown. Who actually Pitt Johnstown has their own basketball team, and they play a Division I schedule, but they're like a smaller branch, kind of like is there any FCS schools in West Virginia, or like besides Marshall?
FCS.
Or like any smaller school besides Marshall?
I think West Virginia. I don't know if West Virginia Tech still has a football team. Glenville State is a very low divisional college, and
what about
West Virginia State.
Wesleyan?
Wesleyan, yes, that too, and West Virginia State, yes.
Okay, but
hold on. Go Bucks just sent a super chat, which I do appreciate that. And he goes on to say, when you start talking about academics, it means your program is garbage because you can't say anything about the play. What? No, I was saying people were saying the reason West Virginia wasn't getting into a conference was because of their academics. So I was responding to what they were saying. I don't bring academics.
Yeah, that's not what I was trying to get my point across. I didn't say that's why they weren't getting in.
Right.
I honestly don't know why West Virginia is not even in a different conference right now. Like, we've said it 100,000 times. It makes no sense being in the Big 12. I mean, you got to spend what? The most on travel out of any college football team?
And it's not, and you got to realize all the other sports. It's not just college football. I mean, we're talking about baseball, basketball, the Olympic sports, all that stuff.
Yeah, everything. So West Virginia moving to the ACC, it has to happen because you guys will see success immediately.
Yep.
Much more than you would have when you guys first moved into the Big 12. Because what was your first record? Was it not great?
Well, what happened was we were supposed to have a really good team, and Holgerson, converted offensive coordinator. And we started off the season, 5-0, top 10 ranking, beat a top 10 Texas on the road, and then we proceeded to lose 5 straight. We still get in a bowl, but 7-5. And would you agree with me on this? I'm glad you brought that point up. That is very interesting. This is coming from a West Virginia fan. I do not think that West Virginia brought value to the Big 12, but I do think that West Virginia brings value to the ACC.
They do. They definitely bring value to the ACC more than they would moving to the Big 10.
Yes.
Because as good as that of a move that would be for you guys financially, would you see the same success immediately in the Big 10 as you would the ACC? I don't think so.
No.
Because you're going to play teams that are going to make it look like us playing Duke.
Right.
Or Georgia Tech, sorry.
Especially with our coach and the way he's recruiting.
Fans. But yeah, so why not go to a conference that has had, 9 different ACC Coastal Championships or champions in the past 9 years?
Yep.
Where you could probably snag 2 for a couple of years. Somebody else wins one, then you may win another.
And that's why Notre Dame should go to the ACC. Right there. Yeah. Winnable conference, winnable division.
Yeah, definitely. Here's the thing, though. as much as I would like West Virginia to be in a coastal, go to the Atlantic. So that could ensure we would meet in the ACC championship.
No, it wouldn't, because we'd get beat by Clemson. What are you talking about?
See, yeah, I think you could beat Clemson.
Maybe once every 7 years.
Yeah, well, that's probably how it's going to be for us. Actually, no, because we don't play Clemson next year or the year after. Actually, yeah, that is right, because we play Wake Forest. That's our replacement. That's going to be a cakewalk like it was the last time. That was 48-13. We won that game.
All right, so I want to ask this question before I let you go, all right? So,
Yeah.
real quick, first I want to lay the foundation. This is from a Pitt fan, obviously, okay? So, I want your season prediction for Pitt, win-loss, season prediction for West Virginia, win-loss.
Okay, who do you start the season against and who do you end it against?
All right, we start the season, I could actually tell you real quick, at Maryland, then we get Long Island at home, Virginia Tech at home, at Oklahoma, and we get Iowa State at home, we get Oklahoma State at home, we get, I think we get Kansas at home this year. I hate it when that happens. And we get Texas Tech. Road games, Oklahoma, Iowa State, TCU, and Kansas State, I believe. And the Maryland.
That's not a complete tough schedule, but that's not easy either.
Right, I would say it's kind of like down the middle.
Worst case scenario, 6-6 with a definite bowl win.
Okay.
Best 8-4, pulling off a win you're not supposed to.
Okay.
And out of those teams, Iowa State at home?
Yeah, that's going to be in Morgantown.
I see you guys winning that game.
Okay. I think if that
Honestly,
happens,
then I
I
would
think if
say-
West Virginia beats Iowa State at home, we have a 10-win season. I have us going 9-3. I have us losing on the road to Oklahoma, on the road to Iowa State, and on the road to TCU. Kansas State does not scare me this year, but those three teams on the road, I think it's going to be our losses.
I don't know if we've ever played Kansas State. I'm pretty sure we have. I know we played Kansas and we beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, if it was any time before the last 25, 30 years, they were just horrific.
Well, I mean, because we have a very big lead in the Big Ten over Nebraska, 15 games to 6 that they've won. They've only won 6.
Wow. All right, so let's switch over to
for
Pitt.
Pitt?
Yeah.
Win up until Clemson. That's when we suffer our first loss. I do believe we will go 6-0 up
Okay.
until Clemson. However, if the only way we are going to upset Clemson is if Georgia doesn't.
Okay.
If
I
Georgia
see.
does not beat Clemson, I believe we will. But
Okay.
if they don't, if Clemson beats Georgia, Clemson loses to Georgia, they're not going to lose another game for the rest of the season. You can count on that.
All right. I like that
That
rationale.
won't happen.
Okay.
But as far as we go, I would say 9-3, 8-4.
I agree with that.
A toss-up game is not Georgia Tech. They don't have
No.
the talent. They don't have the speed. They have no offensive line, no defense at all.
I think they
It
could be a
sends them
sneaky
all.
bowl team, but they're not beating Pitt.
They're not. I'd have us losing to one of the Virginia teams. I don't know which one, but either
Not
one would
Virginia
be-
Tech. That's my clue. Not Virginia Tech.
No. I would say Virginia
Yes.
only because we didn't play them last year.
Virginia's going to be much better, too. They're one of my chaos teams.
Definitely. And they got a good defense. They've always played us close. We've never blown them out.
Right.
I don't think.
Exactly.
But 9-3, 8-4 worse. Bowl game prediction for Pitt, I would say if they win 9 games, it would be the Fenway Bowl against Missouri.
Okay. I like it. I
If
like it.
they win 10 games, which means they upset North Carolina, then I'm pretty sure that wouldn't get them to a New Year's Six bowl, would it?
No, they would, in order to get a New Year's Six bowl, they would either have to get to the ACC championship or finish the second highest ranked behind Clemson, if Clemson makes the playoffs.
Okay. Which honestly, I believe, depending on how the season goes, Pitt definitely will be ranked in the top 4. Definitely top 4 in the entire ACC.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would say if they win 10 games,
there's a chance. There's a chance.
There's a chance. If they win 10 games, I would definitely say, that limits the bowl games they could even go to, actually.
I think the Orange would be where you would be going.
Yeah, the Orange Bowl. Oh, I'd love to play Florida.
That's no. I would say Kentucky. I think you would end up playing Kentucky because I think Florida is going to finish no higher than 4th, and Kentucky will be the big surprise team in the East.
You do?
Yeah, but if not Kentucky, I'll say Missouri. Missouri or Kentucky.
That'd definitely be. If we play you guys, that would be even better.
Or actually, you could end up getting Alabama or Texas A&M, whoever doesn't make it out of the West. Oh,
if we play Texas A&M, that will be a rematch of 2003 when we beat them.
Yeah. Well, dude, this was...
Let you go, Golden Blue dudes.
I was going to tell you, this was a great call. I think Sports Nerd is wanting to get in.
Yeah, I'll let him get on, and I'll talk to you later.
And if you have time, come see Pigskin Pete. I'm helping him co-host at 10.
Oh, I definitely will, man.
All right, bud.
Bye.
Have a good one. Yeah. Pitt subscriber, me and him actually get along. Thank you, P Digits, for the close to $10 super chat. $9.99. I'll take it. Finkel is Einhorn. What list of schools in the ACC would vote to invite West Virginia? Golden Blue dude. I respect your school. I just don't see an invite. Go Tigers, Swamp Rabbit, which I've actually walked that. It's a good trail. Golden Blue dude.
Hello?
I'm here.
Hey, this is a Sports Nerd.
What's up, bud? Hey, let me do a quick check real quick. All right, we're at 9:30. Hold on, Pete. I'm gonna let Sports Nerd talk a little bit. Pete was wanting to call in, and then I'm gonna transfer over to his show. You're good. You're good. You're good.
How you doing, man?
I'm great, man. I survived a hell of a 3-day stretch.
Yeah, is the how'd the hurricane treat you?
Do what?
Or the tropical depression, whatever that was. I know you're down in
Oh
Tennessee.
man, that thing was a freaking nightmare. We were under, well, of course we were under a tornado watch until like 7 o'clock, but we had 3 separate tornado warnings within that. So it was a hell of a day yesterday.
Yeah, it was windy down up here in near Charlotte. So
oh yeah, y'all got some action. I got you.
Just a little bit. So
yeah.
All right, man. Well, I gotta ask, what was the name of the last caller? I was waiting for him to, when he was trashing all the teams that he hated, the fan base. Did he bring up Michigan fans at all?
No, curious. He did not. He is talk his Pitt. He's actually a Pitt fan, and he trash talk Ohio State, Penn State, and of course West Virginia.
Okay, I heard Penn State, Ohio State. I'm like, he's got to have Michigan in there, but it broke up, so sure. But
also, he threw Georgia Tech and Florida State in there, by the way.
Well, Florida State, fans or team or what, I've never liked Florida State. They've just been, I mean, you either hate them or you love them. So, I mean, it's either or. So, but, yeah, man, Just calling in. I've watched some of your videos lately. You did one on the AP and the coaches poll.
Yep.
The rankings.
Yep.
I know the last few times I've been on here, we've done nothing but talk about conference realignment and stuff, but I'm here to talk about basically the AP poll and strength of schedule for these teams. Now,
okay.
I don't know how well versed you are with the schedules. I mean, I'm sure you know, front and back, every single team there is.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead.
As far as schedule goes, no, I don't know front and back every schedule for all the teams. But go ahead.
No, you're good, man. No, I created another video. I released it about a couple hours ago. So anybody that's, it's on the strength of schedule for this year. Now, anybody that wants to just have a little bit of statistical input, go over to my channel, The Sports Nerd. I took your advice and changed it to The. And go check it out. It's about 3 minutes and goes over every single team. So.
And I am subscribed to this dude. He has good videos. Check him out.
I'm at 975. I need 25 more subs.
He's close. He's getting closer, guys. Come on.
Anyway, when I was going through, I saw with the AP poll, I did realize that some of these teams, I believe, will probably not even be in the top 20, let alone not even be ranked by the end of the year. And I will say that Notre Dame is probably the best team in the top 10 that might have a chance to drop out of the top 25 poll, because they have the number 11th ranked strength schedule according to my stats and analytics with this.
And before the rankings even came out, I was telling people, I said Notre Dame could grab 4 losses. And that's not saying Notre Dame's not going to be good. It's their schedule is brutal, guys. I'm telling you, it is brutal. And that's not even counting at Virginia and at Stanford. Those could be tricky games.
I agree. Yeah, according to this, this is all projected Vegas stuff. They have the 16th rate hardest for the win-loss percentage, but this other category, opponent win-loss percentage, is the first. So to me, that's actually the quality of teams and how good the win-loss percentage is for the opponents you play.
Yep.
They have a really tough schedule, man. So, but
well done,
other than
man.
that, I think Wisconsin is ranked 6th in mine, and Penn State is also ranked 8th. Now, this is a little biased towards the Big Ten because all 14 schools are ranked in the top 40, I think. So that's just it, because I also input some rating.
Even
analytics.
Nebraska? My gosh.
Even Nebraska, I'm not going to spoil it, but they're really high ranked up in there, man.
That's nuts.
Why do you think that?
I got Nebraska get to a bowl, yes, but a top 40, no. I would say generously, maybe a top 50. Maybe.
Top 50 hardest schedule, you mean?
Oh, I thought you meant ranked.
Oh,
no, schedule. No. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. My bad. I totally misunderstood you.
No. They're trash, and overall, their schedule's hard. That's why it's going to be difficult for them.
I got you. I was like, what the? Yeah. All right.
But I see your boys, at least, again, this is all my stats. I do not go off ESPN's FPI, which is just a joke. It's trash.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
Your boys are ranked 39th in my rankings, so, I mean, pretty decent, not too hard, but,
I agree with that.
I heard you earlier, you guys got Oklahoma on the road, do you not?
Yeah, unfortunately, we do.
Man, I'm looking at Michigan. They're in the top 5 for this, for me. Hardest schedules in the country, man. We go over, you got to play Washington, you got to play Ohio State, Penn State, you got to play Wisconsin, you got to play uprising Maryland team. I mean, they got a tough schedule too.
Yeah.
You got to go to my video though, see who's number 1. Who do you think, in your opinion, would have the hardest schedule in the country right now?
I think Arkansas has a really bad one.
Dang it, you guessed it. Sorry, I'm not going to say anything else. But, yeah, they played LSU. The whole SEC West is ridiculous. Them and South Carolina always have the 2 hardest schedules. They always got to play Georgia and stuff. So
that's where I rank Arkansas, the hardest schedule in the nation. Seriously, it's bad. But I still think they have a chance to get to a bowl.
They do, but I'm not completely sold at Arkansas yet. I mean, obviously they had a
if they get a few bounces, but I think they have a talent to somehow muster out 6 wins, especially with their out of conference.
Well, Ole Miss, I think, is a lot of people's bounce back for the radar this year too. Who's been very up the last few years. I mean, who's their quarterback? I forget his name right now.
For who?
For Mississippi, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. That's Matt Corral.
Matt Corral. Didn't somebody have didn't they have a guy that had 3 names a couple years ago?
Yeah, I can't think of his name. The guy right now with 3 names is DTR at UCLA.
That's right. I forgot that guy's name, but
yeah.
Yeah, man, the Big Ten and the SEC obviously are going to be tops. Most of the teams are going to be tops of this. But is there any question you have for me about strength of schedule? I could fill you in right now because I got it all keyed up in my Excel right now.
Strength of schedule. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I got one, all right? After this, I got to let you go and see if Pete wants to get in. How tough is Pitt's schedule?
Pittsburgh. Let's see. Let's go down this list. Still going. According to this, they are ranked 63rd.
And what's West Virginia's?
39.
So, 63rd for Pitt and 39th for West Virginia. And I have both of them going 9-3. Enough said. Good
Correct.
call. I appreciate the call, man. Great stuff. Hey, next time, I promise you, I will give you more time. It's just I had to cut the show short, and I wanted Pete to get in for a little bit.
No worries, man. I got what I needed to say off my chest, and it was a good call. Just make sure you guys go subscribe to the Sports Nerd, and always there, man. So get it there, please.
Have a good one, bud.
All right, you have a good one. See you.
See ya. Why is this not? I think this is Pete calling, but my freaking phone won't let me answer. Hold on. Dude, gummit. Pete, if that was you, please call back. I tried to answer, and it wouldn't let me. I promise, I did. That time I did. The first one, I did miss you, but that one I tried. I'm guessing it was you, because it looks like a lowland number. As far as South Carolina lowland number. Yeah, that has to be you. Call back, man. That was my phone's fault on that one. Y'all need to go check out that guy's YouTube channel. I was surprised that he wasn't at 1,000 subscribers yet, because he has some quality stuff over there. So we need to get to. He deserves to be at 1,000. I'm telling you, he deserves it. Pete, if you're still out there, give me a call, man. I totally missed that last one. I was trying to get off the phone with the current caller. And it wasn't his fault either. I think this is Pete. Let me make sure it's not a troll first. Please tell me this is Pete. Not a troll. Not a troll. Here we go. And, by the way, repeat what you just said. You there?
Yeah, I want to speak to the dude.
You are speaking to the dude.
Yes. Good.
You must have pressed 1 because it connected directly to me.
yeah, I know. I've missed the majority of the show because I'm old and I had to take a nap. So
I still do that too, man.
Yeah, so I didn't see what the topic of conversation was, but I did want to call in and support my boy, Golden Blue Dude.
I appreciate that.
So what's the topic for conversation tonight?
Well, on my show, there's not really any topic, but I will say what we have been talking about is pretty much shutting down the stupid reasons why West Virginia shouldn't be in the ACC. Here's an example. Taking Cincinnati over West Virginia because of the TV market. That's bull because you don't go by the population of West Virginia. Our fan base and our alumni is bigger, and the University of Cincinnati doesn't even own its own city. Ohio State owns the entire state of Ohio, including, I'd say, at least 3/4 of Cincinnati, even with their current success. And then more recently, the Sports Nerd was telling us about the strength of schedule stuff. That was some pretty interesting stuff right there. I think with Clemson playing Georgia, that would probably bump up their strength of schedule a little bit. But also at the same time, being in the ACC and not having to play Notre Dame this year, I don't think it would crack the top 30. What do you think?
Well, I think the better question is, can somebody name one single viable reason why West Virginia should not be in the ACC? Was that what you were saying?
Yes. Because
I can't think of one.
Mm-hmm. Except for they don't like us. I mean, that's really the only thing people can come up with. And
so, is there or is there not a connection between, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Isn't there a connection between Clemson's president and West Virginia?
Yes, there is, and it's a pretty solid connection. And the commissioner of the ACC, there's a connection there. Yes, 100%. You are correct.
Yeah. Well, John Swofford was the biggest disappointment in the history of the ACC, in my opinion. I mean, the ACC has been known as a basketball conference for my entire life, basically.
Yep.
And they're not even the best basketball conference anymore over the past few years.
Especially last year.
Yeah, exactly. And the year before, I mean, they've been slowly declining. They took their attention away from football. If John Swofford was smart, he would have got West Virginia in the conference the last realignment happened.
Yep.
But he didn't. And I don't know exactly, if that was, I don't know what that was all about, but the point is that West Virginia ended up in the Big 12, which they should have never been in the Big 12 to begin with.
Right.
So now the good news is, with Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC, it's going to force a realignment, and the ACC is going to have to do one of two things. They're going to have to do the same thing that the Big 12 does and split off into other conferences, or they're going to have to try to keep up with the Joneses and bring in some good viable teams. And the first one on that list, well, the first two on that list, I won't put West Virginia above Notre Dame just because Notre Dame is one of the top 5 brands in all of college football.
Agreed.
But I would say Notre Dame and West Virginia should be the first, the main two that the ACC focuses on getting into the ACC. And West Virginia makes a lot of sense for geography reasons. They're a football school, just like Clemson and Florida State, and the ACC needs more football schools and not just basketball schools.
Yep.
And then on top of that, it just makes sense because the Big 12 is most likely going to dissolve. And the question is not where is West Virginia going to go most likely, but who's going to get them.
Right, I agree, and win, because people are like, Golden Blue Dude, you said West Virginia was going to go to the ACC, and I admitted earlier in the show that I made the mistake of saying they were going to announce within 2 weeks. That was a stupid green, bonehead, rookie mistake, any word you can think of, mistake. I don't know when the announcement's going to be. I shouldn't have said that. That was a stupid rookie mistake. However, 3 separate sources, one in the ACC, one deeply embedded in Clemson, and one in West Virginia, all saying the same thing, and they don't know that I'm talking to the other. So it's not like I'm on conference call and they're like, oh yeah, what he said. No, 3 separate phone calls every single day, still corroborating, yes, West Virginia is going to ACC. It's these other moving parts. When the dust settles, that's when they can make the announcement.
Yeah. And both Clemson and West Virginia fans are rednecks.
Yeah,
that works too.
And we admit it too. It's not like, oh man, don't call us that. That offends me. No, we know it. We were born into it. It is what it is.
Yeah, well, I'm just kidding.
I'm not.
I'm a terrible representative of the rednecks. I have all my teeth.
Well, I do have all my teeth. I do fail that particular exam. But I have seen somebody make moonshine right in front of me. Like, I've seen it made, like homemade still, all that stuff. I have seen it. So, I do check that mark. Nobody in my family makes it, but I know where these steels are.
So I told you the story about Mrs. Pete before, didn't I? How, one of her really good friends from here, from where we live, she went to West Virginia.
Yes.
Mrs. Pete ended up going to Clemson.
Yeah.
They went to different schools, but they visited each other all the time. She's been to a bunch of different West Virginia games, and she might go to one this season.
Oh, yeah.
She told me she witnessed the couch burning.
Yep.
In person. Now we're talking about 20 years ago now. Okay.
Yeah.
Before it was outlawed. Back when they were burning couches like it was no big deal.
It was you had to, like, you were legally, you had to do it. Like, there was no no, you had to. There was no choice.
Now, I've never been to a West Virginia football game. I do want to make one, though. I think it's one of the best atmospheres in college football, honestly.
You're going with me then, dude. You're going with me. I've been to a Clemson game, but I'll still go, because I live 15 minutes outside Clemson. I'll go with you anytime.
Yeah, definitely. And I have been to Morgantown. I just never have been to a game there. I've been to parties with some West Virginia people, which was pretty cool, honestly. But my wife tells me that outside of Clemson, because she's obviously a homer,
right?
Outside of Clemson, the coolest atmosphere that she'd ever been to was in Morgantown at a game.
Yeah, and then we need to stick around for the end whenever West Virginia wins, because 60,000 of us get together and sing Country Roads in tune together. It's amazing.
It's a pretty place up there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've ever driven through Morgantown or in the Morgantown on like a foggy morning,
yes,
I mean, it's like a painting. It's
yes,
so beautiful.
And I will say this one thing real quick. For me, this is a personal thing. Now, my brother does live in West Virginia, so I don't know how he feels about this, but I say it's a great place to be from, but depending on what part you're talking about, I would say Charleston, that stretch of interstate of 64 between Charleston and Huntington is not a great place to live in. Now, the mountains area, up going towards Morgantown, the coal fields, all that stuff, you know, it's beautiful, but the economy is not good. So as far as going back up there and living up there, I don't ever see that happening again. But I will always love my Mountaineers, and I will always make my trek up to Morgantown to see a West Virginia football game.
Yeah, I mean, West Virginia would be a great place to live if you were rich.
Yes,
you know?
And that's a thing. That's actually a
If you had
thing.
like a big piece of land up in the mountains and you know, a big house up there, that would be great.
Well, you know, there's only two places to live. You either live on the mountain or in the valley, and the poor people live in the valley, and the rich people live in the mountains. That's just how it is up there.
Right. Yeah, and that's the same everywhere in the South, really, right? I mean, the same in Greenville.
Yeah, I agree.
And in Charleston, it's basically you live on the beach if you're rich, and then you live 20 miles away from the beach if you're not, like me.
Yeah, I'm all the way up about 15. You know where Liberty is? Liberty's between Clemson and Easley. It's about 15 minutes outside of Clemson. That's where I call home. It's pretty much out in the middle of nowhere, but close enough to civilization to not quite be able to be labeled that, but pretty close. Pretty close.
Right.
So, yeah, I'll go to a Clemson game anytime, man. Name the day, name the game, and we'll make it happen. How about that?
Well, I'll let you know. I'm going to the Georgia game, which isn't in Clemson. It's in Charlotte. So, but we typically do try to go to at least one, sometimes two home games a year. I'll let you know next time I come up.
All right, that sounds good.
Even if you don't come to the game, you come hang out with us before the game or whatever.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go set up for your show, and I'll be over in a minute. But while you're on the phone, just so you know how much I plug you and love your show, guys, this guy knows his stuff. He puts in the work as well. Go head over to Pigskin Pete, give him a subscription, and I'm going to hop over there with him here in just a minute. Thanks for calling in, bud.
Okay, I'll see you at 10 o'clock. Thanks, the Big Lebowski. You're the man.
Hey, I do what I can, man. I do what I can. We'll see you here in a few minutes. The great Pigskin Pete. Yeah, he was one of the, somebody says I missed a super chat. Hold on one second. Let me scroll up just a second. Give me a minute, guys. Give me just a few minutes. Dadgum, if I did, it's way up here. Trying not to bounce the phone as I scroll up. Yes, I promise I will get a better setup than my phone. But right now, I have really bad internet. And I can't use my laptop and all the bells and whistles. I was doing it for a while, but for whatever reason, my internet tanked, and even my hotspot. Oh, there it is. Here we go. I see you, P Digits. I think this was the last one. What list of schools in the ACC would vote to invite West Virginia Golden Blue Dude? Vote to invite. I would say at least. I would say everybody, and if there were, I think the question would be who would vote to not invite them, and that would be the North Carolina schools. But with recent events, scroll back down to make sure I didn't miss anything. With recent events, with the SEC acquiring Oklahoma and Texas, even those guys might waver. And from what I'm hearing recently from sources and articles and other stuff, the North Carolina schools are, actually fine with West Virginia coming in the conference. Those were the main schools, and the Virginia schools didn't like it, but they're they're definitely fine with West Virginia now. So it would be the North Carolina schools that would say, it's not for us. Everybody else actually wants West Virginia. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys, and I'm gonna take a 15-minute rest, and then I'm gonna hop on over to Pigskin Pete's show. So if you want to catch me as a co-host, come see us on the Pigskin Pete show. It's awesome, and hit the subscribe button. He deserves it. I appreciate every single one of y'all joining. Like I say every time, I don't make the show. I'm just the face and the voice. It's you guys that make the show. Cause if it weren't, let's face it, if it weren't for you guys, I'd be talking to myself. Without an audience, you're talking to yourself. So y'all make the show. I appreciate y'all. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. You came across this live show, you're like, what's going on here? I do videos every single day and live shows on Wednesdays and Saturdays, usually at 9 p.m. But because I'm jumping over on Pigskin Pete, I did 8:30 to 10 tonight. So appreciate the support, guys. And I will see everybody on Saturday. And I can't wait for the college football season because those Saturday live shows, man, they're going to be good because we're going to have some fans that are super happy, rejoicing because their team won, or super angry because their team lost. So, Raw Reaction Saturday is coming once the college football season starts. Those are the live shows that I'm really looking forward to. So, there you go. But anyways, for now, I'll see y'all on Saturday. Y'all have a good rest of the week. And come see me on Pigskin Pete, all right? Any support counts.